England were 1-0 up. Argentina were broken. The World Cup final was 90 minutes away. 60 years of hurt about to end. And then England did the one thing that every England fan has watched this team do in every major tournament for the last 30 years. They stopped playing football. And Harry Kane just stood in front of the cameras and said it out loud. He exposed the truth that Tuchel will not say, that the FA will not admit, that every England pundit is dancing around instead of naming directly. He said, "When we went 1-0 up, we seemed to just try and hold on." Which at this level is not enough. Not enough. The England captain saying those words about his own team in the press conference after a World Cup semi-final they should have won. This is the breakdown nobody else is doing properly today, and Robert's Football Talk is going to do it. Welcome back. I am your host. Subscribe right now, because today we are going all the way in on Harry Kane's confession, what it actually means, why England keep doing this, who is responsible, and whether this team has the mentality to ever break the cycle. Let us go. Part 1. What Kane actually said and why it matters more than anything else from this tournament. Let me give you Kane's exact words, because every single one matters. First statement to the press immediately after the match. Just gutted. Gutted for the boys. Gutted for everyone. The team, the staff, the fans. We played a good game for the large majority of it. When we went 1-0 up, we seemed to just try and hold on, which at this level is not enough. Just gutted, because we have worked so hard to be here. The lads have given every last bit of sweat, blood, tears, whatever it is. Second statement to BIN Sports with more detail. We scored and we deserved to be ahead. Then for one reason or another, we struggled to keep the ball, struggled to press, and simply allowed them to build momentum and create more danger in our defensive third. Third statement on Instagram the next morning. No words are big enough right now to overcome this empty feeling in the stomach. We were close, really close to another final, but it wasn't enough. We have given everything over these last 7 weeks, and to fall short is hard to take. 3 separate statements. 3 opportunities to be diplomatic. 3 opportunities to protect his manager and his teammates and say the right political things that players say after major tournament exits. And in every single one, he said the same thing. We stopped playing when we went ahead. We stopped pressing. We surrendered possession. We tried to hold on. At this level, that is not enough. Harry Kane just became the most honest England player since Gary Lineker retired. Now I want to ask you something before we go further. When Kane said we seem to just try and hold on, which at this level is not enough, was he being brave or was he being disloyal to his manager? Drop your answer in the comments right now, because that question divides football fans and I want both sides. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk right now, because part 2 is where it gets uncomfortable. Part 2. The Tuchel substitution that Kane did not criticize directly, but did not need to. Let me tell you what happened in the 77th minute that changed the match. Because Kane did not name it directly. He did not have to. Every person watching knew exactly what he was referring to. England were 1-0 up. Anthony Gordon had scored in the 55th minute. For 22 minutes, England were holding the lead. Tuchel looked at the scoreboard and made the decision that defined his entire World Cup tenure. He substituted Gordon, the goal scorer, the player who had given England their lead, who had been direct and energetic and exactly the kind of forward presence that was causing Argentina problems. Tuchel took him off and brought on Ezri Konsa, a defender, an extra defender, at 1-0 up with 13 minutes to play. The message that substitution sent to every England player on the pitch was this: do not attack, sit deep, hold what we have, defend. And England obliged. They stopped pressing. They surrendered possession. Argentina built momentum. And in the 85th minute, Enzo Fernandez scored. And in the 93rd minute, Lautaro Martinez scored. And England were out. Wednesday's defeat marked the 3rd time since the 2018 World Cup that England have lost a major tournament semi-final or final after taking the lead. 2018 Croatia, 2021 Euro final, 2026 Argentina, 3 times. They take the lead, they change their approach, they lose. Same pattern, 3 tournaments, different manager each time, different players, same result. That tells you the problem is not tactical alone. It is cultural. It is deep inside English football's DNA. The inability to hold a lead by playing through it rather than sitting back and defending it. Kane said it, "Once we went 1-0 up, we seemed to just try and hold on." That is not a criticism of Tuchel alone. That is a description of an entire approach to protecting leads that English football has not solved in 30 years. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk right now. Share this video, because part 3 is the one that every England fan needs to hear, whether they want to or not. Part 3. The pattern that has defined England for 30 years and what Kane's words reveal about it. Here is the history. Because the Argentina loss does not exist in isolation. It is the latest chapter in the longest-running story in international football. 1990. England reached the semi-final. They lose to West Germany on penalties. 1996. England reached the semi-final. They lose to Germany on penalties. 1998. England lose to Argentina in the round of 16 on penalties. 2006. England lose to Portugal in the quarterfinals on penalties. 2018. England reach the semi-final. They lead Croatia 1-0. They lose 2-1. 2021. England reach the final. They lead Italy 1-0. They draw 1-1. They lose on penalties. 2026. England reach the semi-final. They lead Argentina 1-0. They lose 2-1 in stoppage time. In 2018, against Croatia, Gareth Southgate made conservative substitutions after England took the lead. In 2021, against Italy, in the final, Southgate made conservative substitutions after England took the lead. In 2026, against Argentina, Thomas Tuchel brought on Ezri Konsa after England took the lead. Different managers, same decision, same outcome. Kane called it out, not specifically in those historical terms. But the phrase "we seem to just try and hold on," which at this level is not enough, covers every one of those moments across 36 years of major tournament football. The problem England have is not finding good players. This generation has Kane, Bellingham, Saka, Rashford, Gordon, Alexander-Arnold. Outstanding talent across the pitch. The problem is, what happens to that talent when England take the lead in a major tournament match at the semi-final stage? It disappears into a defensive holds. Because at this level, you cannot defend with 10 men behind the ball and expect great teams to not find a way through. Spain did not make this mistake against Argentina in the final. When Spain needed to see a match out, they trusted their football. They kept passing. They kept pressing. They made Argentina chase the game rather than sitting back and waiting. England did the opposite, and Kane told the world they did. Now let me ask you something crucial. Is this England's mentality problem, or is this a manager problem? Can it be fixed, or is it too deep in English football culture to change? Drop everything in the comments. This is the debate English football needs to have. Part 4. Kane's personal pain. 6 goals and nothing to show. Here is the individual story inside the England team story. And it is genuinely painful when you look at the numbers. Harry Kane scored 6 goals at this World Cup. 6. Equal with Bellingham as England's top scorer. Joint 8th on the all-time World Cup scoring list for England. More goals than Michael Owen ever scored at a World Cup. More goals than Rooney. More goals than Shearer. More than almost any England forward in the history of the tournament. And he comes home with nothing. No trophy, no final. A third-place playoff against France that no England player wanted to play and no England fan wanted to watch. He failed to score in England's last 2 matches, the Norway quarterfinal and the Argentina semifinal. Argentina did a good job of consistently marking him throughout the match. He never got a clean chance. He never had the service he needed. He helped spark the break that led to Gordon's goal, but could not add to his own tally in the biggest match of his England career. Kane is 32 years old. He will be 36 at the 2030 World Cup. This was almost certainly his last realistic chance to win a World Cup with England. And he leaves Atlanta with 6 goals and a 1-0 lead that his team threw away. No words are big enough right now to overcome this empty feeling in the stomach, he wrote on Instagram. That empty feeling is the feeling of a player who gave everything his body and his talent had to give, and still came up short because of what happened around him when it mattered most. 6 goals. Empty stomach. That is Harry Kane's 2026 World Cup. Part 5. Tuchel under fire. What Kane's words mean for the manager's future. Thomas Tuchel was criticized for being negative with his tactics, particularly for his decision to replace goalscorer Gordon for defender Konsa in the 77th minute. Multiple reports confirm Tuchel faces serious questions from the FA about his management of the Argentina match. Tuchel himself acknowledged it. He revealed his late subs majorly backfired against Argentina. He used the word backfired, his own word, about his own decisions. But here is where Kane's comments create the most tension. Kane said we win and lose together when asked directly about the substitutions. He protected Tuchel publicly. He did not point the finger explicitly at the Gordon for Konsa change, but he did not need to, because everything else he said, the struggling to keep the ball, the not pressing, the trying to hold on, the directly referencing that once they went 1-0 up, the approach changed and it was not enough, all of that points to the same moment. The 77th minute, the defensive substitution, the moment England stopped trusting their football. A captain who protects his manager publicly, but describes the consequences of the manager's decisions in devastating detail in 3 separate statements to 3 separate media outlets, is sending a message. Not with a name, with the truth. Kane told the truth, and the truth pointed at what happened when Gordon went off and Konsa came on. Whether Tuchel survives this is a conversation for the FA. Whether England can break the cycle before 2030 is a conversation for English football as a whole. Whether the next tournament brings a different approach when England take the lead against a great opponent in the final stages is the question every England fan is holding on to. But right now, today, after Atlanta, Harry Kane stood in front of the cameras and told everyone exactly why England lost. Not the referee, not the opposition's quality, not bad luck. The approach England chose when they were 1 goal up. We seemed to just try and hold on, which at this level is not enough. The most crucial thing said by any England player at any major tournament in a generation. And it came from the captain. The most experienced, the one who has been through France 2022, Euro 2021. Every tournament heartbreak this generation has produced. He knows. He said it. And English football needs to listen. That is the full breakdown. Kane's 3 statements. The Tuchel-Gordon for Konsa substitution. 36 years of the same pattern. 6 goals and an empty stomach. And the most honest assessment of an England tournament exit since the sport began. 3 questions. Drop all 3 in the comments right now. First, was Kane right to publicly say England were trying to hold on rather than keep playing? Or should he have stayed silent to protect Tuchel? Second, is the problem with England a tactical problem or a cultural mentality problem that runs deeper than any one manager? Third, can England finally break this cycle by 2030, or is this going to happen again? Drop everything below. I read every single one. And this is the most important conversation English football has had in years. This has been Robert's Football Talk. Hit that like button, share this video with every England fan you know. Subscribe if you are not already here. New videos every single week. I will see you in the next one.